Hello and welcome to my dungeon of sorrow. Or something generic like that. And let me tell you a tale. In a time where vampires could go out in the daylight and sparkle in it, 30-year-olds played high schoolers instead of much older men of lore, and vampires sucked dick instead of blood. We bring you an era of darkness. This is all, of course, caused by one Stephanie Meyer, the author of the popular Twilight series, which not only treated women as dumbfounded meandering buffoons, but set them back about 50 years. Now, if you've heard of the series, you fall into one of several categories. You either hate the series with a passion and wish it would die for sodomizing cinema, you love it blindly and will do anything to please your Lord and Savior Stephanie Meyer, or you find it hilarious and anything associated with it. In the midst of this vampire popularity, some really great things were created, such as Kamen Rider Kiba in Japan. But there was also a lot of interesting media that was not so good. One of the things to come out of this was a video game. Witches and Vampires: The Secrets of Ashbury for the DS.
Okay, I'm not going to keep doing that voice. Anyways, Witches and Vampires: The Secrets of Ashbury was released for the DS on November 2nd, 2010. Wait, what? You released the game after Halloween? What kind of marketing was that? The demand for a game like this would have dwindled by then. What the hell? Well, I guess it makes sense. Most people had already been playing Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare the week before, not to mention games like Rock of the Dead and Castlevania Lords of Shadow, which came out earlier in the month. So I guess releasing the game afterwards makes sense in that respect. So what was I doing around the time this was released? Well, going to Youmacon for the first time. Yeah, it's a con I seem to go every other year. Sadly, I can't go this year due to scheduling issues, but anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. The game was published by Crave Entertainment, who had released a plethora of games, including Beyblade for the PS1, Blaster Master Blasting Again, Cartoon Network Punch Time Explosion, Fighting Force, Gex 3, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Eternal Ring, and Evergrace. Crave focused on publishing lower budget and import games. Ironically, on Halloween of 2012, they filed for bankruptcy. This isn't looking like a good sign, is it?
With all that being said, what were my expectations for Witches and Vampires? Honestly, I was expecting either a really bad survival horror game or a high school horror simulator to cash in on series such as Monster High. So my expectations weren't very high. Also considering I only paid $10 for this game and it came with a DSi case, yeah, I didn't have very high hopes for this.
The game starts off with a narration about the quiet town of Ashbury. Here we meet Aluna Warren, a woman who left Ashbury 3 years ago to move to Babylon City to escape the secrets of her family, which is why she decided to come back. We then meet her little sister Ruby, the stereotypical goth teenager and ironically user of healing magic. Yeah, and her brother Daryl, a vampire who specializes in offensive magic. They were called there by their mother, Valthura, to discuss something important, and from the conversation we can see why Aluna is not comfortable around her family. See, the Warren family is a family of magic users, a la the game's title, and Aluna just wants the stereotypical, I want a normal life bullshit.
This brings up a question that I've had about characters for a long time. Why do these type of characters exist? What do you mean you don't want magical powers? Who doesn't want magical powers? I want magical powers. The fact that you don't want your magical powers pisses me off because I want magical powers. You entitled little... Okay. I should stop before I get into a rant.
Back to the plot, Valthera called them here because she needs their magic to help use a moonstone to evolve her Nidorina into Nidoqueen before level 23 so it can learn Body Slam. Oh yeah, and just to add more to the Nintendo joke pot, their conversation is cut short when they get transported to another dimension and are forced to fight. This is where the game's battle system kicks in, because the game is an RPG, a slow, but interesting take on the RPG formula. First off, there are no basic attack or defend commands, just spells. In order to use a spell, you must use the stylus to draw the symbol for the spell as best you can. The more accurate your drawing, the higher rate of success and damage dealt. I found this system interesting, but also a pain in the ass for a few reasons. You have to draw symbols for virtually everything except using items, attacking, defending, healing, and running from battle. Secondly, the success rate is weird. Sometimes I won't even be close to matching the symbol and the spell will still work, while other times I'll move slightly off course and the spell will fail. I like that they're using the DS's capabilities in the combat system, but it needs to be refined. As for using items, you can only use them on the character whose turn it is, so you cannot use healing items on other party members, which pretty much destroys the point of using items since healing magic can be used on any party member when cast. Not to mention, battles just run at a snail's pace. The footage here is running at 60 frames per second, which is not the normal frame rate for the game, thus the playback is making it seem faster than it actually is. I had to record this with an emulator, and it will only record gameplay at 60 frames, and trust me, the emulator lags so bad on my computer that during recording, it sometimes got 5 times slower than what you're seeing here. After defeating the ghost, it casts a spell on Valthura. When they return to the house, Valthura says, "Abaddon," before going unconscious. Their only lead is Jasper Legal, the man who had been narrating this whole time, and an old friend of Valthura's. They set off to find him, and from here you can now explore the town. You can do side quests or enter random battles when transferring between areas to increase your experience and skill points. Leveling up works differently in this game compared to other RPGs. In order to increase your stats and learn new skills, you must go upstairs in the Warren Manor and choose them at the desk. This is the only way to distribute your points and upgrades. It's like if you're playing Final Fantasy Tactics, but limiting the job management to only being accessible at
Garland Magic City.
I like that I get to choose my character's growth, but this system is not a very good one. Sure, people rag on the junctioning from Final Fantasy VIII and the sphere grid from Final Fantasy X, but at least you can adjust those any time outside of battle or cutscenes. Here, you're stuck going back every time you want to up your stats, basically forcing you to either wait till you have to go back to the house for a plot point, or just entering and leaving the house over and over again to initiate random battles in that one spot just so you can be close to the house to upgrade your stats. You can also make potions in the house with Ruby or do combat training in the basement. Making potions is actually really interesting. It uses the stylus to add ingredients and mix them, and you can blow on the DS microphone to cool it down. The only thing I may advise is saving before making any potions, because if you fuck up, you don't get your ingredients back. The combat training is just casting spells against dummies, nothing special here. Later on in the game, you'll get to take part in a treasure hunting minigame where you have a time limit traveling around a dungeon looking for items and dirt clots. You then can use the stylus as a scratch lottery ticket to reveal items or other things in the clots of dirt. Eventually you'll find Jasper in a graveyard where he has discovered the crypt of One-Eyed Jack, one of the 6 pirate founders of Ashbury. The pirates were known as wreckers because they would use lighthouses in the town to fool ships into crashing, then would loot the crash site for treasure. Here you'll get your first boss fight with the ghost of One-Eyed Jack, and all his annoying ass spells. I hope you have Burn Heal. After defeating Jack, the battle is not over. You'll have to destroy the pillars by using magic that matches their elements, so fire and ice. Once the battle is over, Jasper discovers the Memoirs of One-Eyed Jack. It explains the only way to remove the curse on the town is to collect the 6 amulets. The Moonstone being one of them means there are 5 more to collect. Here's where my explanation of the story will end. From here, the plot is pretty straightforward. Collect the MacGuffins to save the world, blah blah blah. Not the most innovative story, but considering the presentation so far, it's acceptable. The graphics for a DS game are actually pretty good. It has an early PlayStation feel to it, which is both good and bad. The good is that it's impressive on the DS, where it's able to render polygons clearly. The bad is that it's already dated technology, and other games including ports of N64 titles have shown that the DS can do better. Also, the refresh rate on the background is weird. It has a very Super FX chip feel to its scaling, where it feels like it's loading a room position and locking it into frame. It's hard to explain, but imagine Star Fox whenever something is in motion. It's not actually traveling on a polygonal plane, it's sprites that are locked down for each form of motion. Again, it's hard to explain, but play a little of this, then play a full 3D PlayStation game, and you'll feel the difference. However, the battle effects are pretty good, my favorite one being the animation for the group heal spell. Sound-wise, the game is lacking. The music is generic, the sound effects are dull, and the voice acting is hilarious, if you can even call that voice acting. It's actually more like voice cues you hear every now and then, just basic things like "Hey" or Not really necessary for this kind of game, but probably my favorite is when you use a physical attack with Dario. I'll never get tired of hearing that. All in all, what can I say about Witches and Vampires? It's not very good. I got about as far as Chapter 4 before I gave up out of boredom. The combat, while innovative, is boring and slow. The plot is about as generic as you can get. The characters are bland and don't do much to step out of their stereotypical nature. The graphics are decent but dated, and the sound is weak and uninspired. Strangely enough, this game got a sequel, Witches and Vampires: The Ghost Pirates of Ashbury, released April 29th, 2010, exclusively to Europe. Wait a minute. You released a sequel first? What kind of sense does that make? Considering that Secrets of Ashbury was released over 6 months later, I can assume the game is about the same for the most part. Ironically, as I was researching for this review, another review was written on the GameStop page for this game by one of the top 25 contributors, and despite this person's review being more harsh on the game, he gave it a fairly high score.
So the real question is, can I recommend Witches and Vampires: The Secrets of Ashbury for the DS? Well, the short answer is no, I can't. The reasons are, while I got enjoyment out of the game and I felt a sense of accomplishment, this game takes a lot of patience and it doesn't ever pay off. There are plenty of other RPGs out there in the same type of vein as this that you could be playing, and they do a much better job at it. Now, that's all I can say about this game. But tune in for part 2, when I'm going to take a look at a game that I've been requested to review for a few years now. I'm Zero, and I'll see you in part 2. Ha.
I'll never get tired of that. Hi, everybody. I'm going to join Skankarama here in just a moment. I just need to adjust something. There we go. All right. Hi.
Are we live?
Yes, on my side you are.
Okay, then I should hit live over here too. Wow.
Yeah, you probably should. Wow.
Hello.
Wow, look at that. Wow.
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 Wow. Tab, thank you for redeeming a Dunktastic. So how you two doing?
I'm
Yeah,
doing
doing okay.
great. My back is not hurting, so I am happy.
That's
Cool.
always good.
Uh-huh. Gosh, I guess you're gonna need my screen, aren't you?
That would help.
Yeah, that I do need that.
There you go.
Just
Yeah.
pop this shit out. There we go.
Pop it out.
Full screen.
Yeah. You two been having a good time?
It's not been bad.
I'm having a great time.
That's great. Sad I can't be there, but next year.
Yeah, me too.
Next year.
Yeah.
Wow, you miss me that much?
What now?
Did I cut out?
No.
I said, wow, you miss me that much?
Wait, how much?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So I'm assuming you guys couldn't figure out the double setup?
Nah, if I'd had more time to think about it, I would have
Oh, okay.
figured something out. But
As I say, you on the iPhone, her on the webcam.
I don't have a webcam.
Oh, I thought you did.
Well, I've got one that kind of works sometimes for Windows Hello, but I don't use it as a webcam for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some other time.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it vague for the chats so they don't get to know.
Mm-hmm.
So how's you doing?
I'm good. Brother finally went home on Saturday, so things are starting to slow down for me.
That's good.
Hey.
I actually,
Oh.
I'm in pre-Halloween mode right now, so I've been planning stuff today.
It is early August.
I know.
Absolutely, it is.
I'll tell you all about that later, but
That's basically what I've been doing.
That's the correct time to start getting ready.
That is debatable.
I have plans for October this year. I have
Hell
plans.
yeah.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm going to say right now.
Say no more.
Say less.
They love you.
All right. I guess I should switch to the game screen, shouldn't I?
Probably.
Not a
yeah.
bad idea.
And also turn on your screen capture so I can actually freaking see that.
Yeah, you should.
People are just hearing music right now. Gosh, it's loud. Well, it's probably just loud because it's the intro.
Probably.
Let's see. Where is it? Where's Sky Screen? Where is that?
What is my
There it
screen?
is.
Who knows?
It's right there.
I found
It's a
it.
mystery.
Boop.
Huzzah.
Azor.
So tonight we are finishing the true route.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you get switched around?
I
Were
wonder.
you always like that?
Like what?
Like looking at me?
Yeah,
I think
it's
actually
always this way.
it always was that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's always been like that.
Carm, are you on your phone?
No.
Oh, did you bring your computer with you?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Oh yeah.
Are you
I
guys
also
in the
just
same
replaced
room?
some thermal paste.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You replaced some thermal paste like on her laptop?
Yeah.
It
Oh
was
yeah,
so
because
dry
it
it
was
was
having.
rusting off.
That's probably part of the reason why it was shutting off.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I haven't repasted my PC in like since I got it. So
We also discovered my CPU apparently uses metal cooling.
Oh yeah, it's got liquid metal on the CPU.
but yeah, my CPU is liquid cooled, but my just the CPU.
Liquid
Nice.
metal cooled?
I think it's just liquid cooling.
Yeah.
When I bought the
wow.
PC, the person told me after 10 years I have to change the liquid in it. That's what they said.
Oh.
And I was like, wait, I thought it was every year. They're like, no, that's for your GPU. If your GPU is liquid cooled, you have to change it every year. He's like, but if it's your CPU, you don't have to change it that often. I'm like, why is that? And he's like, it's just how it is. I'm like, okay. I never had a machine that had liquid cooling, and it always made me nervous. So, but it's been fine. It hasn't had any CPU issues. And luckily,
good.
I'm in the generation, a couple generations below when the Intel CPUs start eating themselves. So I don't
Yay.
have that feature either.
We were just talking about that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, because I have an AMD instead of an Intel.
yeah. Apparently they fixed the problem, but it was too late.
Right, it already burned up a bunch of CPUs.
Yeah.
Some bullshit.
Anyways,
Yeah.
let's go. Yahoo! Woohoo!
Wahoo boy.
It's a me, Mario.
All right then. Let me know if there's like a bunch of bleed through audio from either of our things.
Are you guys? If you guys are in the same room, which I assume you might be, I
Yes.
can't hear. I did start hearing you a little bit, Chroma's audio, but it's not a big deal.
Okay.
If
long
you
as
start
it's alright.
yelling, I'm gonna hear it.
Oh boy.
Noted.
Noted indeed.
I'm at the opposite corner of her, so hopefully that won't happen too much.
I can just in my head position in the room where you are. Are you sitting
You
on
would
a
be
chair
correct.
or the bed?
On the bed.
Ah, okay.
One's the
Le-
futon.
Legs stretched out, crossed.
Stretched out.
Okay, I was
Hold on 1 sec.
close. What are you doing?
A little bit of bad instant section.
Oh, I heard that. I heard that, Curtis. I don't know what I heard, but I heard you.
She came over to the side briefly to throw up the blanket to try and block more noise.
There we
You
go.
guys aren't separated now by the blanket, are you?
We are separated by
We
the
are
blanket.
technically separated by the blanket, yes.
Damn.
Gasp.
Gasp.
Actually, that seemed to help.
Yeah, it did.
Hey, look at that.
There we
All
go.
right.
But now you're not. Now you're apart.
Oh no.
It's tearing up my heart when I'm with you. But when we are apart, I feel it too. And no matter what I do, I feel the pain, with or without you.
I see.
No joke, little trivia, zero trivia here. When I was in 5th grade, I had a Raptors, like Toronto Raptors, jumpsuit. It was a 2-piece jumpsuit, like 90s. I sang that song for the talent show in front of my entire school, and I won the talent show. And then we had recess right after, and the entire school of kids was chasing me. That actually happened.
Huh.
Doesn't
You
surprise
two
me.
now know an interesting piece of trivia about me.
Zero lower gain.
I used to be a pop star. I'm not gonna lie, at least for a day. The girls wanted me, but I still were like, "Ew, girls icky" at that point. So
Ew, girls, they got kitties.
Ew.
All right, you guys ready?
Yep.
let's do this.
Hell yeah. They stepped out of the
Y'all ready for
captain's
this?
quarters and into another hallway. Gasp! The hallway stretched out in front of Junpei for a bit before turning left like a great backward L.
Backwards
Junpei
long
rounded
jump?
the corner and took off down the straightaway. Yes. Wahoo! He ran and ran.
So far
And
away.
I ran so far away. At the end of the hallway was a door. He made straight for it. He was nearly halfway to it when he noticed a piece of paper in the middle of the floor. What was a piece of paper doing in the middle of a hallway?
What?
What? Junpei skidded to a halt. He dropped down to his hands and knees and quickly tore the paper off of the floor. Now that he had a chance to examine it more closely, it was clear that it was a map. He could have just looked at it before he got all weird. More specifically, a map of the ship's interior for the A deck. Well, hello, wife.
Hello.
Oh my God! Is that Sage?
Mm-hmm. No, I've not done my linelet. What's wrong? I see.
This guy just not reading?
She is.
Oh,
she
son of a
muted?
bitch. Was my mic thrown out?
She might be muted.
Check, check.
Oh, there you are.
Oh, well, that. With that, he began running again, past Junpei. Junpei shoved the map into his pocket and got up to follow Ace. But something stopped him.
Hey. Where's Clover?
He turned around. Clover was nowhere to be seen.
Damn it. What the hell is she up to?
Junpei muttered angrily under his breath and took off back the way he'd come. As he stomped around the corner, he saw her. She was standing in front of the door to the captain's quarters, her hand on the doorknob. As Junpei watched, she closed it gently and quietly.
What the hell are you doing?
Nothing.
What do you mean, nothing?
Clover had unconsciously put her hands over the pockets of her jacket, as if trying to hide something.
What the hell is that?
What?
You've got something in your pocket. What is it?
Oh, this? This is a note.
A note.
Yeah. I found it in the pocket of the guy with the captain's clothes. It said something about the darkness of the sinister hand or something.
What the hell? Let me see it.
But Junpei wasn't going to get to see it. From the other end of the hall, he heard Ace's voice.
Hey, Junpei! Clover! What are you two doing? Hurry up!
Clover shrugged.
I'll show it to you later, alright? Come on, we gotta hurry.
Why are we running again?
Oh, I guess time is running a little low.
I guess.
Before Junpei could protest, she was gone. Around the corner and off down the long side of the stem of the L. A note? A note. Junpei was curious. But there was something else that bothered him. Her pocket had been bulging far more than it would from just a note.
Oh my
Junpei did his
god,
best
she
to
has a
convince
penis.
himself-
What?
Convince himself that it would make sense later and ran off after Clover. Junpei pushed through the door and found himself in a large room with a large set of stairs.
Fancy.
It was just what he'd expected to see after reading the map. His "I see" after reading the map himself meant that Ace had probably realized the same thing. Junpei looked around, but Ace was nowhere to be seen. He put his hand on the handrail and leaned over to look down. There he was. And not just Ace. Santa, June, Seven, and Lotus as well. Junpei and Clover glanced at each other and hurried down the stairs. They reached B-Deck at the same time. Jumpy! Oh god. Oh, that was echoey.
A little bit.
I heard it from Karamazan before you. It was like a split second. It was funny.
I don't know how to do that, but sure. Voice and video.
Voice and video, push to talk.
No.
You find it? Cool. All right. Jumpy! Clover! June's face was excited. Something had happened. That much Junpei could tell simply by looking at her.
What's up?
Given their situation, he was not inclined to be excited about sudden developments. June, however, couldn't contain herself. We found it!
Found what?
We found it!
What did you find?
The last door! We found door 9!
What? What?
Come on, just follow us. We'll explain on the way.
Okay, let's go.
Seven turned and jogged off down the stairs. The rest followed. We finally made it! The relief and excitement in her voice echoed what each of them felt.
Yeah, it's finally time.
Junpei wasn't quite ready to believe they'd really done it. At least, not just yet. Still, if everyone said that it was door 9, then it probably was. He could feel his heart racing. A mixture of anticipation and fear ran through his veins, and he could feel his legs shaking. He was doing his best to maintain a sense of healthy skepticism, but he couldn't deny that the prospect of escape was an exciting one. But there was one thing he couldn't get off his mind. The numbered door could only accommodate between 3 and 5 people. There were 7 of them on their way to door 9. That meant that even in the best case scenario, there would be 2 of them who would have to stay behind. 2 people. He didn't have any solutions to that problem yet, but he was desperately hoping one would present itself. Junpei looked over at the clock. The hands indicated that it was 4:30. They had 90 minutes before their time was up.
Hey! Junpei! June! What the hell are you two doing? Hurry it up!
Santa's voice jolted Junpei out of his reverie.
Let's go, Jumpy!
June took off down the stairs, jogging as quickly as she could. Junpei followed. Neum.
We zooming.
As a group, they pulled into the elevator and rode impatiently down to E deck. It looked familiar. There was a metal grate between the two elevators. Seven grabbed hold of it and began to talk.
I know I told you I'd explain it earlier, but honestly, there ain't much to explain. After we split up from you guys, the four of us got into the elevator on the left. And that took us to the other side of the grate. After that,
They'd headed down another hallway. It took them towards the bow of the ship and eventually to the number 6 door that Junpei and Juden found earlier. With 4, they'd been able to open the door and keep going. As usual, they'd faced a locked door, but had been forced to complete 2 different areas before they could unlock it. Once they were through that door, there was another hallway that went in the other direction towards the stern.
So, on your way, you found the elevator.
it didn't happen. I'm sorry, Sky.
I know.
Yeah, that's right.
So, in other words, you kind of did a lap, huh? You came from that side to this side.
Yeah.
Yeah. With that settled, Junpei looked around.
So, where's the number 9 door?
Over here. Follow me.
7 began walking down the hallway that led toward the stern. Junpei and the others broke into a jog to keep up with him. They had been walking for a while. June in silence stepped with Junpei when she spoke. You know, it's because of Santa that we're all here right now.
Huh?
That all 7 of us are going to door 9.
Question mark?
You don't get it? Santa, 7, and Lotus. What's their digital route?
9. It's 9.
That's right. They could have just left me behind and kept going if they wanted to.
But they didn't.
Yes, because Santa wouldn't let them. He said, "We can't leave June behind." That's why we went looking for you guys. And then you got on the elevator and went back to the central staircase. Oh, that's you. Ah,
And then you got on the elevator and went back to the central staircase.
that's right.
Well, I wouldn't have called that one. That Santa would be the one to stick up for us. I mean,
Junpei felt his eyebrows knit as he considered that. Oh, don't get me wrong. Perhaps June had sensed Junpei's concern. You don't mean that 7 and Lotus said they wanted to leave me behind. We were just talking about it and Santa objected to it first. Junpei was about to respond when 7 suddenly stopped. In front of them stood a door.
so is this...
Junpei couldn't see 7's face, but he could see him nod.
Yeah.
There's no other place for us to go?
Oh. Chuck Testa. Let's look around.
At the end of the hallway was a thick iron wall. To the left and right, other hallways led to the port and starboard sides of the ship, but they were both closed off by thick metal grates. It looked as though 7 was right. The door in front of them was their only choice.
All right, let's get moving.
He pulled open the door and walked in. Junpei took a deep breath and followed. It appeared they'd been telling the truth. First thing Junpei saw as he entered the room was the number. Like all the others, it was a rough thing made of red paint. The door it decorated sat on the back wall of a rectangular room. Junpei ran up to it. It was a large double door with powerful styling. Something about it was almost majestic. It made the red paint look especially garish. Junpei grabbed the handle and shook. Didn't
Welcome to the
budge,
Hunter Base.
but then
Time
he
for
hadn't
your
really
checkup.
expected it to. The red was bolted to the wall next to the door.
Alexa Torihime, thanks for the follow.
Hey.
We're about to get the true ending in this game. I am playing with these cuties right here. If I could type. Ha.
That's us. We're the cuties.
Yes, you are.
The red was bolted to the wall next to the door. Its display read vacant. Finally, they'd arrived. Junpei felt a flood of emotion wash over him. He felt a chill down his back, and his chest tightened even as his blood began to boil.
That's a very
He was
interesting
about-
combination of feelings.
Yep. He was about to speak when...
Junpei, look behind you!
was this released on Steam or is this a DS strip? I am playing this on a DS.
Yeah, she modded her DS, 3DS, so she could play this using the capture card. But this is on Steam. The remaster version is on Steam.
It is. We're playing the DS version for reasons which will become apparent tonight. He turned around.
Very cool.
Junpei could scarcely believe what he saw. A door and a 9. There was another one.
Another one.
Hey. What the hell? What the hell is going on here?
His words came slowly, and his brain struggled to understand what he'd seen. On shaky legs, he made his way back to the second 9. It was a small door, set parallel to the door they'd come through, but in the other corner of the room. 9. There was no mistake in that number, and if any more proof was needed, a red was bolted to the wall near the door. He grabbed the handle and shook the door, not because he expected it to open, because he had to make sure it was real.
Why the hell are there 2 doors?
Hey Alexa, thanks for the follow.
Nice.
It was Ace who spoke first.
Do you think perhaps one is the right door and the other is the wrong one?
Lotus was skeptical. I don't know about that. That seems unlikely.
What makes you say so?
Well, think about all the rooms we've been through so far. They're full of puzzles, but there are always hints about how to solve them. I'm pretty sure there aren't any rooms where we just had to go with our best guess and leave it to instinct to solve the puzzle. Do you really think that at the very end of the game, Zero is going to suddenly throw in something that depends entirely on luck?
Then you're saying there's some sort of hint in this room.
No, I don't think there's a hint anywhere in here. I searched it very well when I was in here before. I didn't find anything that might have been a hint, though.
Well then, that means...
Santa.
Sorry, I'm just responding to Alexa. It's because Chroma doesn't stream. I posted her Twitter in the link if you saw my collab link. But yeah, she doesn't stream. She's just here for moral and emotional support.
I'm here for the fun.
Yes. Kurama is our dragon.
Yes, I'm the one on the far left.
Don't skip my line.
There you go.
Yeah, both of these are the right door.
I mean, if you think about it.
Zerner actually said there was only one door with a 9 on it.
The exit is hidden, but it is there. Seek the exit. Seek the door that carries a 9.
Junpei began to mutter to himself.
So if there are 2 number 9 doors, if we split it up right...
That's not gonna work.
Junpei blinked and looked up at Clover. She held out her hand.
Excuse me.
You've got a notebook and a pen, right? Can I borrow them?
Slightly confused, he pulled them out and handed them to her.
Look at this.
Clover opened the notebook to a blank page and set it down on the desk. Everyone else gathered around her and watched as she wrote down a series of numbers. Lots of numbers. Numbers, numbers,
You get it?
I don't get it.
I do.
In my head, this is just a side thing. So I finally got the new March 7th, the Swordmaster version. And I love it when sometimes when her passive ability goes, she goes, I get it! And I just think in my head, John Trump going, I don't get it! I don't get it! I want to find audio. I want to find audio of her going, I don't get it somewhere and edit it together.
I get it. I don't get it.
Because I know she said that. I know she has. Anyways.
Absolutely. And basically, it's just the digital root combinations for everyone present, basically showing we can't all get through both doors.
The numbers on the top are all the combinations with digital roots of 9. The numbers on the bottom are the people who don't fit. There are only 8 possibilities if we split up into 2 groups of 3 or 4 people. So?
If 3 people go through the door, then 4 are left behind. If 4 go through the door, then 3 are left behind. Right?
Clover nodded, almost as if she were pleased with herself for solving a difficult math problem.
Nah.
I mean, the room went very quiet. Silence lay across everyone like a thick, heavy blanket. No one spoke. Their faces were blank. Desperate for something else to look at, Junpei turned his eyes to the room around him. As he did, he began to wonder. What was it? The walls were covered with candles. The wavering flame made the shadows of Junpei and his companions look as though they were dancing. 2 rows of wooden pews filled most of the room. Between them was a strip of rich red carpet.
It's a prayer room. It's church. It's church.
Carpet ran straight through the room, ending at the door that pointed to the stern of the boat. At the other end of the carpet... Gasp! Who could have seen this coming? An altar. It was a recessed space set into the wall between the other 2 doors. Sitting on a raised section of the altar was... a coffin. A coffin, a coffin. A coffin. No, it couldn't possibly be. But if it wasn't, then whose body occupied it? That was as far as Junpei wanted to pursue that line of thought. He decided not to think about the coffin for the time being. At that moment, Seven spoke. There was an edge of humor to his voice, but it was forced.
Okay. I give up.
Figure we sat around here long enough, someone would volunteer, but I guess nobody's got the guts to do it.
Junpei didn't understand, and he wasn't the only one.
What? You guys didn't figure it out yet? Fine. Let me enlighten you. Clover was mostly right with a little explanation earlier, but she missed something. She wasn't really wrong, she just... screw it. Let me just write it out.
Seven snatched up the notebook and began to write on it. Everyone else clustered around him, desperate for a look.
If you're trying to leave with a group of 3 and a group of 4 and get everybody out, Clover's right. But there's another way. Only one combination, though. If you split us up into groups of 3, and 1, you can make this combination.
Wait. This means...
Don't get me wrong here. I'm not trying to copy Ace or anything like that. Even if he hadn't been the hero back in the big hospital room, I'd still be saying the same thing.
The same thing? Are you saying...
Yeah, I am. I'll stay behind.
So much exclamation marks. Why are you acting so heroic all of a sudden? Are you some kind of idiot? Lotus was the first to speak. That in itself was a little strange. She'd reacted much differently when Ace had volunteered. I'm completely against this. I'll be goddamned if I'm gonna have you to owe you for getting out of here. The rest of them began to speak all at once.
I'm against it too. I didn't want to leave Ace behind, and I don't want to leave you either.
I don't like that idea. There's gotta be other options.
I disagree as well. I can't say I care much for you being the hero.
Finally, they quieted down. Junpei looked at Seven.
Well, there you go, 7. Proposal denied. Clover's right. There's got to be a better way than this.
Seven made some noise that was somewhere between a derisive snort and a cough.
Doesn't make any sense.
He was doing his best to pretend they were making a foolish decision, but Junpei could see the twinkling of water at the corners of Seven's eyes. That was when Santa spoke.
Whoa, hold on a minute. I haven't said anything yet.
Until then, Junpei hadn't realized that Santa had stayed quiet for the whole discussion of Seven's fate. Something in his voice made Junpei uncomfortable.
Are you agreeing? You want to leave him here?
Santa shook his head.
Nah. I'm against it. I don't want to leave Seven here alone.
Then I don't see how it matters.
I said alone.
Eh?
I said I don't want to leave Santa alone.
There was a dull shine in Santa's eyes. They were cold and hard. Junpei felt himself shiver.
What the hell are you?
What? You don't get it?
I don't.
I can't just leave. Oh, sorry. I can't leave just one person. I need 2 more. 3 people, including 7. I'll be leaving behind 3 people. That's my proposal. No. Those are my orders.
What do you mean, orders? What the hell makes you think you can order us around? Who the hell's gonna listen to you?
Question.
Uh-huh.
This is all going to be changed. This is all going to be different when we factor in Snake, right?
Probably.
I don't know enough about math, so I'm just asking if y'all figured that out.
Yes, Snake would throw a wrench in it.
Okay.
You all will. In 3 seconds, you won't have a choice.
What?
3, 2, 1, let it rip!
Santa was so fast Junpei could barely see him. When he moved, it was almost like watching a dance. His feet moving like lightning. He spun and...
Ah!
he had June.
See? I told you.
His lips curled into a cruel, mocking smile. A shudder traveled the length of Junpei's spine. His chest froze, and he could feel his breath go stale in his lungs. Nothing made sense. Junpei felt as though his head were about to explode. Santa's sudden change in attitude, saying that he needed 2 more. The gun in his right hand, a revolver. Santa had grabbed June from behind and pressed what Junpei's shaken brain identified as a revolver roughly against her temple. What was he doing with a gun? Where on earth had Santa possibly found a gun? Junpei's questions roared in his mind, but his mouth refused to ask them. Seven spoke, almost as though he had sensed Junpei's confusion.
The gun from the other room.
What room?
You know, the one in the other route you did. One of the rooms behind door 6. I should have known he was going to do this. I should have taken the gun.
Well, it's too late now.
Wow.
Wow,
Santa. Damn it. Damn.
A mixture of fury and frustration twisted Seven's face, and he glared at Santa. Santa, for his part, didn't do so much as flinch. The corner of his lip twitched into a slightly wider smile. Then the smile faded, and he began to move. He walked backwards, dragging June with him. Before long, his back was against the door. On the wall next to him was the red. He put his hand on the scanner panel quickly and then forced June to do the same.
Now, time for you to start following my orders. Ace, Lotus, congratulations. I've chosen you to come with me. Put your hands on the red.
Blah blah blah, 18. That's what Santa had meant when he said he needed 2 more.
Hey, you deaf? I gave you an order.
Santa's eyes narrowed to slits. He glared at Ace and Lotus. They stayed frozen like deer caught in the headlights of an oncoming car.
Right? Fine. I didn't want to waste any bullets, but you guys just don't get it.
No sooner were the words out of Santa's mouth than his hand twitched. And the gun roared. A section of the floor exploded, shattering wooden splinters across the floor. A thin plume of smoke snaked out of the hole in the floor. There could be no doubt that the gun was real and worked.
But why? Santa, why are you...
Clover's voice spoke of betrayal and disbelief.
Santa, I thought you were one of us. I thought we were friends. What? You knew about the leaf word and the 4-leaf clover.
Santa's cheek twitched, almost imperceptibly.
What the hell is that shit? I've got no idea. You're lying. Shut up. Just shut up, you stupid bitch. You want me to put a bullet in your fucking head?
Flecks of spit flew from Santa's mouth, his face twisted with rage. Clover recoiled, her eyes wide. When she spoke, her voice was very small.
Santa.
He snorted, then shook his head vigorously and turned to face Ace and Lotus.
All right, assholes. What are you still standing there for? Get over here and scan those bracelets. I don't have all day. Oh, what's the matter? You hearing starting to go? Going senile, maybe?
Ace and Lotus still didn't move. It almost seemed as if they couldn't move. June's face was pale behind Santa's arm. Her eyes were wild and her chest heaved with every quick breath like an animal cornered by a predator. Junpei's mind worked furiously. What were they gonna do? Then he realized something. There was nothing they needed to do. There was nothing to debate. June's safety was the first priority. That much was obvious. Doing as Santa had commanded meant that she would be safe from at least 2 threats. She wouldn't be shot, and she would leave the ship alive along with Santa, Ace, and Lotus. There was only one thing for Junpei to do. He turned to Ace and Lotus.
Please. Go. Huh?
But... Jumpy! What are you saying? If you stay here, you're gonna be stuck, Jumpy. And so will Clover and Seven.
I know. But you don't need to worry about us. We'll figure something out. Right, Seven?
Right. Yeah. You just leave it to us. It's gonna piss me off to do what Santa says, but...
Don't worry about me either. There's still something I have to take care of.
But... No! You can't! Ace! Lotus! Don't do it! Don't worry about me! Please!
June was almost crying. Junpei walked around behind Ace and Lotus. Without a word, he laid a hand on each of their backs and gently pushed them forward. They almost stumbled, then righted themselves and took another step and another. They turned around, and Junpei nodded. Ace and Lotus turned around again and walked slowly towards the door where Santa was waiting for them. After what seemed like an eternity, they stopped in front of the door marked 9. Santa smiled.
All right, now let's get those hands on the scanner panel. What's the holdup? What, think I'm fucking around here? I don't give a shit about this girl. The red doesn't need a person, you know. All I need is the bracelet. You get it? Good. Now put your fucking hands on the scanner. I'm not gonna say it again.
He shoved the revolver harder against June's head, and she winced.
Fine.
Ace sighed, defeated, and placed his hand on the scanner panel. Lotus went next. Lotus glared at Santa and slammed her hand onto the scanner panel. The fourth asterisk blinked on.
Good job. Now, Lotus, pull that lever. As soon as the door opens, you get your ass in there. Try anything stupid, and you know what happens, right?
Junpei could almost hear Lotus's teeth grind. The door slid open. Door number 9 opened at last. It opened with a low, powerful rumble, a drum roll to welcome the chosen few.
All right. Go!
Lotus and Ace walked through the door, their eyes furious but defeated. Santa waited until they were all the way inside, then hauled himself and June across the threshold as well.
Later.
After exactly 9 seconds, the door swung shut. The gust of air it created caused the candles on the altar to flicker and die. The room fell silent. Junpei, Clover, and Seven had been left behind. Clover looked down at her hand and traced with her finger the faint blue veins that crisscrossed them. Seven shoved his arms into the front of his overalls and scratched his stomach. No one spoke. Silence made the air feel thick and oppressive. Desperate for something, anything to occupy his mind, Junpei walked to the larger of the 2 9 doors. He stood in front of it and looked at the red. It read, engaged. He moved to the smaller door.
I have to send you both the picture my brother just took of his cat.
Oh no.
I'm putting it in the other chat.
The red read, vacant. Vacant. The digital route to the remaining people was 7. There was no possible way for them to open a door with a 9 on it.
Isn't that great? For context, anybody listening, my brother sent me a picture of just his cat sitting at the other end of the dinner table, and there's a glass there. And he's just staring.
I mean, I'll make it happen over here. Bloop. Cat.
I mean, that just looks like Star.
It does. That's a cat.
Archie has a serious case of Wilford Brimley face.
Yeah, he really does.
He doesn't.
I can see it.
My brother doesn't acknowledge it when I say that, but that's exactly what he looks like. It's like a meme image.
100%.
One. Oh, that's great.
Alright. Okay. Junpei touched the surface of the door. If only there was a 2 that they could use. He thought about June, but Akane Kurashiki. Was she safe? That was all that mattered to him. If she was alive, she had escaped this horrible boat. That was what Junpei prayed for. 7 came up next to him. He pulled off his hat, scratched his head, and sighed.
So, what do you want to do, Junpei?
What do you mean, what do I want to do? What can we do?
7 opened his mouth to respond when... There it is.
Knock, knock, knock.
A noise echoed through the room. Someone was pounding on something vigorously. It wasn't mechanical. It was certainly human.
We've come to reach you about your car's extended warranty. Hello?
No, goddammit, even here! Junpei and Seven looked at one another.
What the hell is that?
Shh! Quiet!
Clover motioned to Seven to be quiet. She put one finger to her lips and closed her eyes in concentration. The three of them listened, trying to determine where the sound was coming from. Where was it coming from? Could it be?
Hey, I think it's coming from this coffin.
You're right! Let's...
Oh, sorry.
Let's open it.
But how?
What are those muscles for? For show?
You tell me to force it open?
Just shut up and try.
Junpei and Seven grabbed hold of the coffin. They tried to get a good grip with what little purchase they could find and pulled with all their strength.
Yeah.
Rah!
Damn it.
Man, it wouldn't even budge.
There was some sort of keypad attached to the coffin. Its purpose would not have been difficult to determine. Their eyes were almost immediately drawn to it.
Not another one.
Yeah, looks like it.
Do you think we have to put in the right password, or it won't open?
That's generally how locks work.
The noise wasn't stopping. In fact, it was getting louder. They had no idea who was in the coffin, but they wanted out, and they wanted out now. They had no idea what they were supposed to do. Without a passcode, it didn't seem like there was a lot they could do. They couldn't even tell how many numbers the passcode needed to be.
Isn't there a hint somewhere?
Well, let's look for one. Oh, while I have an ad break, I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Go for it.
Alrighty.
Mm-hmm. So how you doing, chat?
Hope y'all are doing well.
Yeah. Ba-da, blah, ba-da, blah. Mhm. See if I remember right. It's the paper that Clover probably has. Yeah. Do. Let's see. Should work. That didn't work. Haha. I'm gonna have to look up this stuff when I. Yeah. It's cool. What? I am trying to find the two extra rooms we've got.
Oh my god, do you know what that image reminds me of?
What?
It's
What
the meme
image?
of the two girls yelling and then the cat at the table at the
Exactly
other
what
end.
I thought. Yep. I think
That's
his
what it
name's
reminds me
Smudge.
of.
I kind of see it.
Which is funny because I saw that that cat as a bumper sticker today on my drive home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite old cat memes is I should buy a boat.
I fucking love that one.
I should buy a boat. What is that one?
Classic. It's just a cat putting down a newspaper and being like, "I should buy a boat."
I like the cat with the glasses in front of the computer going, "Eh." Old man
Hold
cat.
on, I'm snagging image real quick.
Okay. I'm gonna go a couple things ahead because we've actually read this, but it's
You can't do the skip thing with it?
No, because it's technically a different route. But these things are. What was the passcode? He needed something.
I have not seen this meme.
It is old.
Oh shit! Wow! The world blinked. Oh yes, important shit. Suddenly there was a voice inside Junpei's head. Truth had gone, and truth had gone. And now truth is asleep in the darkness of the sinister hand.
What the hell was that? That voice?
Junpei was utterly and completely baffled.
Huh? What are you talking about?
What's up?
Seven and Clover ran over to him, but Junpei didn't know what to tell him. If he told them he heard a voice, they'd laugh or worse, think he was going insane. So all he said was...
Oh, nothing.
He cleared his throat a little too loud and looked pointedly down at his bracelet. There were a pair of small buttons protruding from either side of it. Junpei pressed the buttons on the bracelet. I believe it's left, right, left, right. Kaplow! Oh, that's wrong. You should know that already. You should know everything. If you don't, then why did you bother to look at the bracelet? You already know that the darkness of the sinister hand is telling you to look at the bracelet on your left hand. That's why you looked at your bracelet, right? Oh, it's right, left, right, left, right, left. Truth had gone, truth had gone, truth had gone. That was it. 438342.
Also, apparently the meme is from 2012.
Damn.
12 years old.
8 numbers blinked. Junpei checked one last time. 1, 4, 3, 8. 3, 4, 2, 1.
Huh?
Eh?
Hey, what the hell are those numbers?
Oh my gosh, are those...
Junpei didn't answer. He simply walked straight to the coffin. He knelt down in front of the keypad, running over the numbers in his head so that he wouldn't forget. And so they'd be on screen. Aw, damn it! With trembling fingers, he punched them in. Oh. I don't need to do shit.
Yeah, you didn't need to do it last time either.
Oh, cool. Punched the E button. There was a moment of complete silence. Then there was the sound of the coffin lid unlatching. Someone sat up out of it.
Ah!
Oh, is that you, Clover? I apologize for worrying you.
Snake?
Oh my, how did you?
Junpei. And Seven, is that you? Is everyone else there as well? Just like Rip Van Winkle. Still, it was very much like Snake to simply cut to the heart of the matter and ask. Junpei and Seven shared a wry smile. Clover's eyes were filled with tears.
You're back!
With a cry of joy, she leapt into Snake's arms.
Aww.
Yay. Gently now. My body's still a little weak.
You're back! You're back!
Clover looked like nothing so much as a lost child who had finally found her home. She cried and cried and cried.
Aww.
Her eyes were red, and her nose was running. She hiccuped and gasped as if she were about to begin hyperventilating.
You're back! You're really here!
Her voice was happy, but almost desperate, as if she feared he would disappear again if she stopped talking to him. Tear after tremendous tear rolled its way down her face. Her small arms strained as she clutched Snake's body as tightly as she could. Perhaps she had to convince herself he was real. Perhaps she was worried he'd be gone the moment she let go. Perhaps she simply didn't know what else to do.
Oh, you're back.
Come now, what's gotten into you? You're acting as though I've returned from the grave.
Not as though you did. I really thought you were dead.
Huh?
You jerk. Idiot, baka.
Baka.
Clover broke into sobs so great she could no longer talk. It was a touching reunion between brother and sister. Even though Junpei knew they had little time, and every minute they waited was a minute they wasted, it felt cruel to pull them apart. Junpei and Seven sat down on one of the pews, waiting for Clover to calm down, before explaining to Snake what had transpired. I see. I believe I understand things rather well now, thank you. In the shower room, there is a dead body wearing my clothes. Because of that, you thought that I was dead, correct? He had quickly and neatly summarized the events of the several hours. Junpei nodded. You also discovered a corpse in the captain's quarters, and Santa turned on you here in this room. Do I have it straight? Seven had been rather surprised to learn of the dead body in the captain's quarters. With everything that had taken place, Junpei had simply forgotten to mention it to him. Well then, I've got a pretty decent idea of what happened while I was indisposed, but it's still something of a mystery who did all this and why. The corpse in the shower room that looked like me, and the corpse in the captain's quarters. Or were they killed in the way they were?
You don't know?
No.
You don't know yet.
Why would I?
The guy in the shower room. We don't know who he is, so let's just call him Mr. X. Anyways, this Mr. X is wearing Snake's clothes. You're wearing some kind of weird robes that almost rhyme right in time. That means someone took your clothes and put them on Mr. X. We need to figure out who that was.
I apologize, but I have no idea who might have done this to me. I only now just woke up. I was unconscious during all the events you just described to me. They must have undressed me and changed my clothes during that time.
When were you knocked out?
When we split up to look for the red.
Where did they get you? Do you remember?
It was a small room in one of the hallways on C deck.
What happened?
The same thing that happened to every one of us who were abducted. When we were abducted, a can releasing some sort of gas was thrown into the room. I believe the gas is some sort of incapacitating agent.
Then that means it was...
Zero.
Looks that way, huh?
There's nothing else I have to tell you. When I woke up, I was in this coffin. Junpei crossed his arms in thought. Why had Zero made Mr. X wear Snake's clothes? How had the results of that trick benefited Zero? It was a mystery. Junpei couldn't make sense of it. He also didn't have a satisfactory explanation for how he discovered the key code for the coffin. It just didn't make sense. Truth had gone, and truth had gone. What did that mean? Did it mean anything? And why had Junpei felt compelled to push the buttons on the bracelet after hearing them? Seven had asked him about it while they waited for Clover to finish crying. He'd had no answer for them, and he still didn't. All he could say was that he seemed to have been his conscious reaction. Fingers had simply moved of their own accord. It was the only explanation that made any sort of sense, and made almost no sense. Junpei had no idea what any of it meant. His mind was a maelstrom of mysteries, clues, theories, and even more mysteries. He could barely think. And of course, Snake and Clover had been subjects of a similar experiments 9 years ago.
Ability to access a morphogenetic field is affected by a couple of things.
Oh, God. This again? Fuck.
The first is epiphany, and the other is danger. And someone did actually die. A girl. Her name was...
There had been another experiment conducted on the same ship 9 years ago. A girl had died during it. Morphogenetic field theory. The 2 murders. Switching clothes. The nonary game. And whatever strange thing was happening to Junpei himself. The maelstrom in his head spat out words and ideas that disappeared back into it almost as soon as he grasped them. But as he struggled through them, Junpei began to realize something. There was something that tied all of them together. Zero. He was the ringleader, the person who had trapped 9 people on a sinking ship. Zero knew everything. If they could uncover Zero's identity, all of their questions would be answered. Who was Zero? Junpei had the beginnings of a theory. If he could only test it. Or perhaps... At any rate, we'll have plenty of time to decipher the details later. For now, it is of utmost importance that we escape. Junpei, it was 4:30 the last time you checked the clock, yes? That means we have less than an hour. We must hurry.
Hey. How are we gonna get out of here?
Isn't that obvious? Through the other number 9 door.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. With Snake, we could open the door.
Don't tell me you hadn't figured that out.
I definitely
They
have.
Look,
snapped
Clover,
back
we've
and
been
forth.
busy.
Junpei glanced at Snake's left hand. He was wearing a bracelet with a 2 on it.
Come on, you gotta tell me these things.
I assumed you figured it out.
Yeah, forget it. Let's just get going.
7 stomped off towards the similar number 9 door, the smaller number 9 door. Clover, Snake, and Junpei followed. 7 quickly laid his hand on the red, and asterisk appeared on the screen. Junpei and the others followed suit and laid their hands on the scanner panel. Soon, there were 4 asterisks on the screen. 7 glanced at them, then laid his hand on the lever of the red.
Alright. You guys ready to go?
Yes.
Yup.
Junpei paused for a moment.
Not yet. Before we go in, I'd like to check something.
You want to check something?
Yeah, but before I do... 7, could you pull the lever? I want to make sure we can verify with just 4 of us.
What do you mean? We don't need...
Just do it, alright? If the door opens, don't go in yet, okay? Please. This is really important. I really need to check this, okay? Work with me here.
Junpei looked directly into 7's eyes. The older man looked back for a moment, then nodded.
Fine.
Fascinating. 7 pulled down on the lever and door 9 creaked open. Then they waited. 6, 7, 8. 9. After 9 seconds, the door closed.
Alright, that means the 4 of us can go into door 9.
So... we knew that already, it's obvious.
Obvious. Yeah, you're right, it is. Now what happens if we add Zero's bracelet?
What?
Zero's bracelet.
Why don't you take it out, Clover?
For a moment, Clover looked surprised, but she recovered quickly and struck her tongue out at Junpei.
That blush is cute.
Blink, blink. What do you mean?
That's what it says to me.
So you did know I had it. I picked it up because I thought it might be useful sometime.
She reached into one of the pockets of her voluminous jacket and produced a bracelet. Junpei took it from her and turned to Seven.
This was in the left hand of the corpse in the captain's quarters. If you look at it, you can see it's got a 0 on the face. Just to make this a little bit easier to talk about, I'm going to call the guy we found dead in the captain's quarter Cap. If Cap was really 0, then I should be able to open door 9 with just me, Clover, and this bracelet.
Math.
Most importantly, if you were Cap and this was your game, would you really put one of these bracelets on yourself? Anyway, let's just give it a shot. Clover, give me your hand.
Okay.
After he and Clover scanned their bracelets, he waved Caps over the scanner panel. Then he pulled the lever. However, the door didn't open. The red's display read error.
I knew it. Now, what does this tell us?
Maybe the bracelet has to be on your wrist in order for it to work.
No, that's impossible. Did you see how the panel showed a third asterisk when I scanned the Cap's bracelet? Whether or not it's on your wrist doesn't matter. All you have to do is put the bracelet near the panel for it to register.
Seven waved his bracelet in front of the scanner panel. Sure enough, a single asterisk appeared on the red.
Huh. Looks like you're right.
See? So, what does that mean? There's only one possibility.
That bracelet isn't the number 0. Is that what you're saying?
That's right.
Then what number is it?
Let's find out.
Junpei scanned the bracelet with this combination.
We know it's 6, so let's see. 2, 5, that's 7 plus 6. That'd be 13 now. So that'd be 6 plus 6, 12 now. Snake, Junpei 7. No, I don't think so.
Snake 7. Hang on.
That is 12, 18. 7 Junpei and Cap, because that's 7 plus 5 is 12 plus 6, 18. Wait, what?
Oh, gotcha. This combination opened the door, then Cap's bracelet.
Oh,
was
it's
the
doing it
number
without the
6.
bracelet. Got it.
Gotcha.
Sorry. Hey, it opened. The door opened.
What? Why? What does that mean?
What does that
Both
mean?
Seven and Clover seemed rather shaken as they turned to look at Junpei for answers. The door slid heavily shut. Junpei raised an eyebrow.
Isn't it obvious? Cap's bracelet is number 6.
Math.
But doesn't it say 0?
This isn't a 0. The symbol on here isn't a number 0. It's a letter 0. Oh, that's...
Oh.
I don't know how I feel about that. That's sneaky.
Whoa, wait a minute. I don't get it. I mean, we figured out that Cap's bracelet is 6, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't that mean there are 2 people with 6s?
Before Junpei could answer, Snake spoke up. There is most likely only one person with a 6.
But I don't get it. What about June?
Well, it's only an educated guess, but I think June's number was never 6 to begin with. Her bracelet was flipped. In other words, June's real number is...
9.
Excuse me?
That seems the most likely.
And all this number door stuff was just a load of crap?
Why would you say that?
Because if June is 9, then the numbers wouldn't match up.
Clover grabbed Junpei's notebook and began to write furiously in it. Junpei leaned over to look at it. List of all the numbered doors June's gone through. Clover read each door out loud so that Snake could follow along.
Alright, I made a list of all the numbered doors that June has gone through so far. I wrote down which door she went into and with who. And wrote all the numbers were. So if you switch 9 and wherever there's a 6, the numbers don't work. If digital root is 7, then you can't open door 4. If digital root is 2, then you can't open door 8.
Clover, did you notice anything interesting on that list?
What do you mean?
You're talking about 3, right?
3?
Santa's always in the room with her. That's what you're saying, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
What about it?
That's quite simple, really. You told me that the first time you came to this room, Santa was the first to refuse to leave June behind. Now, doesn't that beg the question, why? Why would Santa do such a thing? The answer is easy. Because Santa can't open door 9 with only 7 in Lotus. Of course, there's only one reason for that. His number isn't actually 3. Santa's real number... 7. Would you be so kind as to modify my sister's equations?
Yeah, sure.
7 took the pen from a confused Clover and began to adjust her calculations.
This is what you were getting at, right, Snake?
He read out the changes he'd made. When he finished, he looked at Snake. Snake smiled. Thank you. That is exactly right, 7. Santa's true number wasn't 3. It was 0.
Dun dun dun!
No way! Santa is 0?
And June was 9, not 6. On the contrary, Santa was 0, not 3. Plus 3 and minus 3. They cancel one another out. Nothing appears out of order.
Ah, I get it. And that means that even though he set up the whole damn thing up, Santa was still playing by the rules of the nonary game the whole time.
Precisely.
So you're saying Santa planned this whole thing?
I'm not sure if he acted alone or not, but I think it's safe to conclude that he is 0. If my hypothesis is correct. Clover bit her lip. She seemed to be having some difficulty believing her brother's explanation. Junpei remained silent in thought. Snake's hypothesis didn't satisfy him. June's bracelet was flipped. Even if that were possible, then there would have been 2 number 9 bracelets. And if that were the case... Alright, that's enough talking. Let's go. It's high time we went through that door. Door 9 opened. They leapt through. The dead was directly in front of them as they came through the door. Quickly, they scanned their bracelets. Ka-chunk. And the detonator stopped.
Phew.
After pausing for a moment to catch their collective breath, Junpei and his companions headed down the long hallway in front of them. At the end was a set of stairs leading down into the ship. It looked as though they led all the way to the bottom deck. They looked down. It didn't seem to be flooded. After deciding it was safe, they headed down the stairs. Before long, Junpei and his companions found themselves on the bottom deck. They turned left into another hallway, at the end of which they found another door. And of course, there was a symbol engraved over the keyhole. It looked like the
Aquaman.
sort of harpoon one would use to hunt fish, the kind with 3 prongs. Snake traced the shape of it with his fingers. This is the Neptune symbol. There must be a key around here somewhere. Neptune key. All Junpei had was the Uranus key card. Not the same planet, not even the same sort of key. Clearly it wasn't going to open this door. After examining the door for a few more minutes, they gave up and headed back the way they'd come. With a little more searching, they found a metal door. To the side of it was a card reader. A symbol was engraved into the card reader. It matched the Uranus symbol on the key card Junpei was carrying. Junpei. Oh, okay.
This is the place.
He muttered to himself and slid the card through the reader. It beeped once, and the light on it turned green. With a heavy metal groan, the door creaked open. Junpei, Clover, Snake, and Seven looked at one another, nodded, and stepped through. The room they found themselves in was full of books. It looked remarkably like a library.
That's a big fucking library.
Mm-hmm. Not the sort of library where large numbers of people came to read, or the sort of library that was simply a place to store books. He felt a little overwhelmed by the sheer number of books, but Junpei did his best to speak with authority.
Alright, if we want to get through that door out there, we need to find the Neptune key. I say we split up and look for it.
Okay.
Very well.
Sure thing.
Good, let's get started then. We don't have a lot of time.
Alice sleeps in a small chamber past the Forest of Knowledge. As he began his search for reasons he didn't fully understand, Junpei felt those particular words float through his mind.
Seek a way out.
It's a library.
Oh,
Just
A library.
a library.
Library.
The library?
Library.
Libraria.
Here. Gasp, books. Don't dead, open inside.
Ernal Hugh.
Hey, what if we like
Ofb.
move around?
Why are you skipping all the dialogue?
Because it's just how we do it.
Open the door.
Open here, find bulb.
How about this?
As the bulb!
That was a piece of cake.
Hooray! Oh, that was a great animation.
I fucking love her cheering animation.
Get it,
It's so
Junpei?
cute.
Guess that turned out well enough.
So the letters from the title spelt out open here, find bulb.
Yeah.
That is a shitty looking light bulb.
It really
Oh,
is.
we've had one of those before. An LED one like that.
I just meant it being all low poly and everything.
You got a refractor shard. Tab
Oh,
salad cheese.
Tab, thanks for the bits.
X100.
Oh, you have photochemistry.
I think we were set this up on us.
Oh.
Okay, never mind. Whatever.
Okay. Yep. Whole lot of space behind these books.
Look, Junpei. I think there's something hidden behind the books.
Gasp. Is the bulb.
That's another bulb.
A light bulb? A light bulb? A light bulb? A light
Ooh,
bulb?
a light bulb. Ooh, a light
Oh.
bulb. Ooh, a light bulb.
Yeah, this game could use orcs. Yeah, I'm sure you never would have expected that, eh?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Crazy. Just the one part of the door. Here we go.
Oh yeah, speak for her. Why don't you?
Who know what? Oh. What do I agree with? Could use orcs? I don't know about that.
It does seem a little weird that it's so different from them, but maybe
Oh, you son of a bitch! Trying to read as fast as you go through it.
It is a book about baseball, probably.
Understanding
balls
of
a base?
baseball.
Baseball's the book?
Spaceballs the
Baseball's the video game.
lunchbox.
Those rumors are true. We're finally going to get Spaceballs the sequel, which probably are not true because they've been talking about that for like 20 years.
I have not
believe
even heard
about that.
rumors.
I
Look,
think
this
that's
one
the
says
I'm
culture
here.
heritage of
Bet that's going to be serious inheritance tax. Hey, it's another one of those kids' picture books. It looks like the other one we found.
Yoink.
Cowboys and Indians? Is that what it said?
Something. I think so. Time to go downstairs. If I can figure out how to get there. Nope. There we go. Alright, we're downstairs.
Yay!
So, wall to the left of the stairs. Okay. Do that.
Are you doing this? Are you going through this so quickly because you're trying to end this tonight?
Not necessarily so
Hey, there's
quickly.
another
Just
one that's in the picture. Something about these things feels kind of nice, you know? Brings back good memories.
I mean, in general, for the
I've seen people like
investigations,
Seven were
we can
kids
kind of
once.
skipping stuff if it's just
No
things I
shit,
click
you
on.
little.
Hey guys, cool it. Alright, I think I'm gonna take this picture book with me.
Yay!
I didn't see what that one said. That's okay.
Iron plate. Just a wall.
That's what a wall wants you to think.
It is. Okay. Front of here. Into the doors, into the bookshelf. So here. What we got?
Bookshelf is sort of glass inlay. It's pretty big, but there are only 6 books on it. Seems kind of weird.
It's this private section.
Hey, it looks like there's something on the bottom. Can't really see it though. These glasses fall foggy.
Needs a good cleaning.
You're not wrong.
Okay. Need a code. Books. Volume 632415. 632415, I assume.
What the hell is this? It's like they just gave us the answer. Guess I might as well give it a shot.
It's 3, 2, 4, 1.
You did it, Junpei! Yay!
She could be great about being praised by that.
Let's see if we can get it open, alright?
Yay. Quack. Yay!
And another light bulb.
Huzzah! Now I gotta go back to this motherfucker. It's like it needs some bulbs or something.
Squeaky, 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 squeak. Whoa!
Wow, those light bulbs really make a difference. It's pretty bright in here now.
Crazy.
Yeah, they form a triangle.
Gasp. Whoa! It's a pop-up book.
SE5. It's one of some Native Americans. Hey, Junpei, take a look at this one.
Blah.
Oh god, it's a captcha.
Oh
What's
no.
from this one? Come on, Junpei, let's see what's on it.
Why, none of us here are androids.
Ed. Yeah, you're right. I'm a cyborg.
I mean, technically, Sky might be in trouble.
What now?
Good.
Haha,
Because you're an AI.
I am. Then... Wow.
Awesome. Shield Rake 5. It looks like it worked.
Way to go, Junpei. Hey. Good job, buddy.
There's something projecting on the bottom.
These letters, they seem familiar.
Shield Rake 5, sorry. Shield Rake.
Eldrake Jimpy.
Junpei read the text out loud.
I think I saw the rest of this collection somewhere.
Yeah, I think it was somewhere around here.
Let's go take a look.
Okay.
Seven and Clover walked off, leaving Junpei and Snake behind. Have you heard of him? Sheldrake, I mean. Junpei grinned.
Yeah. Lotus told me about him.
There's a British biochemist named Sheldrake. He had a rather interesting theory. The theory of morphogenetic fields, which relies on the theory of morphic resonance. Really? From Lotus, huh?
Well, Clover also said something to me about that stuff.
She did.
Yeah, what was it?
The ability to access the morphogen. Oh my god, this again?
Well, thanks.
Just skip this. Just skip it.
Epiphany in danger. That girl. I told her not to tell anyone.
You did? Why?
Junpei's eyes narrowed. Because I'm Zero, bitch!
Look, man, I didn't push it because we were in a hurry, but I'm kind of sick of this. How about you just tell me, okay?
Tell you what?
Don't give me that. About the experiment.
Snake's shoulders slumped as he shook his head slowly. He'd finally given up. Very well. Fine. I'll tell you everything. But not here. Let's move to the top floor. Junpei nodded.
It's never here, it's always somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. With that, they climbed the stairs to the top floor. Snake was silent for a moment after they arrived, then finally crossed his arms and spoke. I suppose I might as well start by telling you why I kept quiet, and why I made sure Clover did as well. To be honest, the explanation is quite simple. Zero told me not to. I had little choice. He didn't walk up and tell me, of course. He gave me a message engraved on a card. Snake reached into his sleeve and pulled out a small, stiff piece of paper. It looked a good deal like the one he'd shown everyone at the central staircase.
So you had 2 cards.
No, only one.
Huh? What do you mean? I thought that card just had some rules for the nonary game on it.
Yes, it did. And those were the rules I read you. However, they were not the only thing on the card. There was something I didn't read. Well, perhaps I should say there was something I couldn't read.
And that was...
Tell no one of the events that took place 9 years ago. Tell, and I activate your sister's detonator.
Goddamn. Oh. Well,
Snake nodded.
oh, what about Clover? Did she get a message from Zero too?
I don't believe she did. But doesn't it strike you as strange that Zero would shut my mouth but not hers?
Yeah, that does seem a little weird.
To be on the safe side, however, I told her it was best not to tell anyone. Still, apparently she told you. That girl.
What's wrong with her telling me? Figured some stuff out with the things she told me. I mean, it looks like the whole activator detonator thing was just a bluff. She's prancing around downstairs, happy as a clam now that you're back.
Kaboom from a screen.
No!
Snake glanced down at Clover and Seven, examining one of the bookshelves. That's very true. I've decided I can trust you. I've decided to tell you the truth. The chance that Santa's Zero is very high. I feel I can assume Santa doesn't have the time to observe us at the moment. And at any rate, even if he were, I very much doubt he would kill us.
Why not?
Clover told me about the four-leaf clover, about the words. If he knew about that, then he was in my group during the first experiment. I'm sure of it. He wouldn't kill us, no matter what the situation was. Snake paused and cocked his head, as though he was listening to something very far away. His face looked dark, as though something was weighing on him.
Hey, Snake?
Junpei wasn't quite sure what to say. Snake turned and looked at him. Yes, I know. You want to know what happened during the experiment?
Yeah.
How much do you know? Junpei relayed to Snake everything Clover had told him. The morphogenetic field and the experiments 9 years prior that had dealt with it. How the experiment had taken place simultaneously at 2 locations, one being in the ship and the other being at a building in Nevada. How they'd played the nonary game. He told them everything. And finally, he told them how a girl had died during the experiment. Oh. She told you all that, did she? Snake looked down. His face was tight. A slight tremor shook his body, and he tried to hide it. He was putting on a good front, but even Junpei could tell that he was holding back something deep and powerful. He made as if to brush something from his face and looked at Junpei. At any rate, I now know how much you've learned. All that remains for us to determine.
It's who did this and why, right?
Yes.
Can you tell me what happened?
Snake nodded slowly. The people who organized the initial experiment were from a company called Cradle Pharmaceutical. There were 4 of them running the show. Jintaro Hongo, Nagisa Nijisaki, Teraraki Kabuta, Kagachika... fucking hell. Musashita. Hongo was the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceutical. Nijisaki was his right-hand man and did the lion's share of the planning. Kabuto led the company's research and development division. Masashita was their majority stockholder. It was these 4 people who planned the initial experiment. Let me simplify it for you. Hongo designed it, Nijisaki put it all together, Kabuto developed the technology required, and Masashita provided the cash.
Oh, Tonga, Nijisaki, Kubota, and Musashito.
Junpei couldn't shake the sense that he had heard those 4 names somewhere before. Of course, more than 4 people were required to conduct an experiment of this scale. To that end, they organized a top-secret team to assist them with their research. All in all, they gathered 10 people or so. Those 10 completed their team, and they were able to begin the project. They named it the Nonary Project. The purpose of their experiment was to research the prospect of controlling a human mind through sheer will. The vessel, I suppose you could say for the control, was the morphogenetic field. Why did the glycerin suddenly begin to crystallize? Why did the crystal structure of EDT undergo a sudden change? Why did the rats improve their puzzle-solving skills with each generation? Experiments with humans produce the same results. The more people who knew the answer to a question, the more people there were who could answer correctly without having seen the problem before. Why? How? The answer is that the shape of the answer has been stored in a field invisible to the naked eye. And through that field, the resonance event transmits information related to that answer. That's essentially the idea behind morphogenetic fields.
But that's just a theory. A
A
game theory.
game
Game
theory.
theory, yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Can't bring yourself to believe it.
Not really.
Let's say someone killed another person because the devil told them to do it. Whether the devil exists or not has no relevance to the murderer. They believe the devil exists, whether or not he does is immaterial.
So what matters here is that Hongo believed in the morphogenetic field.
Snake nodded.
But I still don't get it. You said they wanted to figure out how to control people. Right? That is what you're saying.
Yes.
So how are they going to do that with a morphogenetic field?
I'll keep it simple. Let's suppose 1,000 people have solved a certain problem. The chance of you knowing that answer, even if no one has told you, will go up. Let's have another example, shall we? Say 1,000,000 people were to do a handstand right now. Tomorrow, the chances of you doing a handstand would be higher, even if you had heard nothing of this hypothetical mass handstanding. Mankind's thought process and actions are all part of a resonant event. All of the resonant events encoded in the fields are projected onto you. Of course, this assumes you believe in this theory. Do you follow so far?
Vaguely.
But let's say, hypothetically, that there was a person who had the same effect as those millions of people. What would happen? If that one person were to do a handstand, the other people would find themselves wanting to do handstands as well. Can you imagine what a person with powers like that would be able to do?
Come on, there's no way.
I'm not done. Imagine another scenario. Imagine another person. This is an ordinary person. Let's say he does a handstand. What if there was someone who could grab the resonant event he created by doing that and use it to make other people to do handstands? What would happen then? A person who has the power to write to the field and someone who can read from the same. You could think of them as the writer and the reader, or the transmitter and the receiver. What would the world be like if there were people with abilities like these? Junpei thought about it for a moment.
So the transmitter's resonant event can be transmitted through the field and sent to the receiver? And the transmitter can control the receiver however they wish. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes, close enough at least.
Come on, that's just crazy.
Well, if you want to prove that, then you'll have to test it first. At least, that's how they thought. That's why they decided to do their experiment. That was how the non-re project began. Suddenly, Snake suddenly looked very serious. Junpei, have you ever heard of the Gansfield experiment?
No. I haven't.
Junpei shook his head. You place a pair of subjects in separate rooms, then you show one a picture and ask the other what they see. So in theory, it's supposed to test for the existence of telepathy.
Oh. So why'd you bring up the Gansfeld experiment?
It was used to screen subjects for the Nonary project. The hospital in a remote town was affiliated with Cradle Pharmaceutical. Hongo used it to conduct experiments on visiting children in secret. Some of them he found had potential. He began to gather children that showed promise, children that seemed as though they might be able to access the field. Of course, none of them volunteered. They were kidnapped. His face barely moved as he spoke. There were 9 pairs of siblings taken, for 18 children total. Now, for reasons that were not fully understood at the time, each pair had 1 transmitter and 1 receiver. They were split perfectly. As such, the 18 children were split into 2 groups of 9. The children who were put into Group Q were the ones excellent at transmitting. They were transferred to the mock experiment building known as Building Q in the Nevada desert. The children who excelled at receiving were put in Group A. the members of Group A were placed on the former hospital ship Gigantic. From the experiments he had conducted so far, Hongo had learned the following. There are two things that can increase one's resonance with the fields. The first is epiphany, the other is danger. Have you ever been faced with an especially difficult problem and thought about it for very long and hard until finally an answer suddenly appeared in your mind? It may seem obvious to say so, but that's what's meant by epiphany. The information obtained through that epiphany can be easily transmitted through the fields, or can be easily interpreted. Temporal ass pain. Adding danger to that equation allows for even easier field access. Therefore, Hongo set up a number of puzzles across the Gigantic. The participants had to solve each puzzle before they could move to the next room. Of course, he hadn't forgotten to include danger. More specifically, he had detonated a bomb on the hull of the Gigantic. The children in Group A were forced to play the nonary game as the ship sank. By forcing the children into a life-or-death situation, Hongo hoped to increase their likelihood of tapping into the fields.
How are you, Blank?
The children from Q, on the other hand, were confined to the mock experiment building, Building Q. Building Q duplicated the interior to the puzzles and the Gigantic exactly. Hongo explained the situation to the children in Group Q. Solve the puzzles throughout the rooms. When you solve them, transmit that information to the children from Group A. If you succeed, they will be able to solve the puzzles and escape. But if you fail, then the Gigantic will sink and your brothers and sisters will drown. Do you know why the astronauts of Apollo 13 were able to return to Earth safely? It was because NASA had access to a replica of the Apollo 13 capsule. All of the equipment, the instruments, everything, all of it identical. NASA was able to represent the situation the astronauts were facing. By putting themselves in the same situation, they attempted to solve the problems they knew the astronauts were experiencing. Once they had found solutions, they reported their findings to the men aboard the actual capsule. That was how they were able to return safely. It was the same with the Gigantic in Building Q. The children from Q had to use the power of epiphany to solve the puzzles they found and transmit what they had learned through the fields. The children in Group A, however, had to access the fields to learn how they might advance to the next stage. That is the simplest explanation I can manage. Snake sounded defeated. His half-hearted attempt at derision served only to show how much the story had affected him. Just as Junpei was about to speak.
Hey. Junpei. Snake. How much longer you two gonna sit around those bony asses?
Seven the goat.
Down here already.
Seven's voice echoed up from below. Snake took a deep breath and blinked rapidly, as if just waking up from a long nap. He's right. Let's go, shall we? We don't have much time. We need to get out of here, and soon. Snake headed for the stairs, but Junpei put out an arm to stop him.
Hold it. There's one more thing I want to ask you. Are you sure that there were 18 kids?
Why?
Well, I thought it was only 16.
Oh, yes, that's what they said on the news, wasn't it? Yes, I have no doubt that the 18 children were abducted and used in Hongo's experiment. After all, you couldn't exactly play a nonary game with any less, could you?
Well, yeah, but are you saying that the news got it wrong?
Yes, I am. There were 2 more children. However, they had no relatives that I'm aware of. I imagine no one filed a police report when they went missing. They were brother and sister, like Clover and I. The brother's name was... Aoi. The sister's name was... Her name was... Snake couldn't seem to bring himself to continue. It looked as if he was about to say something that brought him great pain. Her name was Akane.
Fucking called it!
That was the girl who died.
I knew it.
Junpei felt as if he had been punched in the stomach. His vision went blurry and his head felt light. He couldn't think straight. Everything was blank. Had Akane Karashiki died 9 years ago? If she had, then who was June? No, that was impossible. It couldn't be true. Akane wasn't an uncommon name. If Snake had known her last name, then that would have been a different matter entirely. So they shared a name. There are many other people who did as well. It meant nothing. It was a different person. Of course it was a different person. It had to be. Junpei shook his head hard and pulled himself back to reality.
Okay, just real quick. Somebody in my chat first message was my Discord thing. If you don't respond and tell me what it is, you're getting banned. You need to first time chat should not be my Discord. I have kicked you from my Discord. I've kicked you from my Discord already. So unless you start messaging in here and tell me why you want to get into my Discord, you're not getting back in. This is your only warning.
So much fun. Nope. Sounds like a bot to me. Is something wrong, Junpei? Your breathing sounds strange. Then Snake had noticed. Junpei cleared his throat and tried to act calm.
Oh no, it's nothing. I'm fine. Let's get back down there, alright?
Snake raised an eyebrow but said nothing. He headed down the stairs, Junpei bringing up the rear. He couldn't bring himself to ask. He told himself he knew the answer already, but he couldn't bring himself to ask what the girl's last name had been. With every step he took, the cold, hard sound of feet against metal dug at his heart.
Sorry about that.
That's alright. Was it over here? That's the wall. To go back up, aren't I? This open? The library. Press blah, 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 blah. This is the door we came in. Yep.
Hey, it sounds like a job for the best brother and sister team in the world.
Adorable.
Absolutely cute as shit. Okay, I need to be facing west,
I
so
love
I need to
Clover.
go
She's great.
this way. No, I need to go the other way. Okay. Cross the bridge. Nope. Did we... Oh. Lights to the books, yes. Come on. Oh my god, come on. Mom, we're almost done with this room. Then we can call it. Is that it? That's not it. Is it downstairs? Is this it? This might be it. Dead kind? Alright.
Bottom right.
Yeah, Sheldrake. The 5th volume. Okay. Boop. Hey, look at that. Beep. That's what I was looking for.
That's a big moving fucking wall.
Sure is.
Oh god, it's Batman.
Not Batman.
What was it sound?
Sounded like something really big was moving.
It came from the top floor.
Alright, let's go check it out.
Yay. Oh shit.
13, 14, 10, 13?
Mm-hmm.
There's a keyboard in front of the numbers. And there are 4 Roman numerals. On the wall, it's gotta be a hint of some sort. 13, 14, 10, and 13. Those are Roman numerals, yeah.
I know you're just trying to get through it, so I'll let you go through it.
Okay. So it doesn't have any number keys, so we gotta type on it. Just need to see the keypad, guys. Come on. Okay.
So we're probably looking for book names or some sort, I assume?
No. We have to type numbers in letters. Numbers with letters. Shall I just do the math and give it to you?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how you would have gotten how I would have gotten that.
Yay!
Hexadecimal.
Yeah, I don't know hexadecimal.
The villain from Reboot?
Yes, exactly.
You did it, Jinpei. It's unlocked now.
Good job, Junpei.
Whoa there, don't get too excited. The password was dead, remember? We think whatever's waiting for us isn't good.
So what? Geez, you're such an old lady. Can't be worrying about stuff like that. I mean, come on, we got it unlocked, didn't we? Let's go, hurry up.
I
I've
got
been
a
understanding
bad
what
feeling
Lotus
about
was
this.
going through.
Yep. Oh, left one doesn't open.
What? Why not? Put the password in. The other door.
It's the other
Right.
door.
Calm your tits, guys.
Alright, let's get this thing open.
Yeah.
Did you try the left one on purpose?
I didn't remember which one it was. We found it.
Huzzah!
Door open, and Junpei and the others leapt through it. But no sooner had they done so, than the clang of metal on metal rang out behind them. They spun around. The door they'd just come through had slammed shut.
Ah, fuck.
Junpei grabbed hold of it with both hands and pulled with all his strength.
Oh, that's not good.
Is there any other way out?
Well, there's another door on the right. There's a card reader next to it. It's got a red light on it, though, so I'm pretty sure it's locked, too.
But there is a card reader, right?
Yep.
Then perhaps if we find a key card, we could open the door and leave?
Well, yeah, that might work, but...
Hey, wait a minute. Are you saying we're gonna have to search through this room for one little card?
Oh, man.
They took a second look at the room they'd found themselves in. It was filled with piles upon piles of all manner of things. The only word that could describe it was chaotic. It was like a tornado had passed through, followed by a giant who picked up and shaken the entire room a few times. Junpei's heart fell. Clover and Seven looked as though they were about to cry. Well, we could sit down and wait to die if that's what you prefer. I'd rather doubt that, however, so it'd be wise to start looking. We haven't had much time. Let's find that key card. Oh, and the Neptune key as well. We won't be able to get through the hallway without it. All right then. Let's begin. Okay.
He's another one of these.
Yep. Should we
Seek a way out.
call it for tonight? It's been 2 hours.
We probably should.
Okay.
How much is left?
This is the last escape room, and there is another segment and story section afterwards.
Then we should probably just wait then, because that's going to take
Okay.
us at least an hour.
That sounds good.
Works for me.
All right.
So how about them twists?
What a twist.
I don't know how to feel about them yet.
Excellent. So you were calling, who was calling Santa?
I mean, I've just been suspicious of everyone this entire time. The fact that Santa and June were left together at the end of the other ending definitely didn't help either. Especially since with it now, June actually having bracelet 9 and Santa supposedly being 0, that only leads in further.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Zero? Brain broken?
I kind of suspected that June was the one who had died already.
Yeah.
And then what kind of added to my like thoughts about that was the fact that her bracelet was apparently fucking upside down. Which means okay, so they're like you couldn't just use like I'm no math magician, but I know that you can't just use the same. You wouldn't be able to use the same equations because it would have made most sense. But then I'm thinking, I'm like, how does Santa get through other doors that where he's not with June, or is there a possibility that he's never with June?
Santa and June both have to go through the same door, and they have been each time.
No,
Yep.
but I mean in previous things, haven't we
Mhm.
gone through ways that Santa hasn't been with June?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so it's always been that way.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he.
I can't think of a single instance of Santa being with us without June or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want to say he's 0, but it's pretty. All signs are pointing to yes.
These are not the final twists. There's
Yeah, I
so
figured.
much more.
I
I'd be
there's gonna
surprised if
more.
they're the final twists.
I figured there's gonna be more.
Fucking love this game.
What are you, M. Night Shyamalan? What a twist!
What a twist! We should find someone to raid, shouldn't we?
We should. We should.
Probably.
I've got SCXCR.
What is SCR doing right now? What's he doing?
Wheel of Steam games.
Wheel of Steam. Oh, he's doing the Wheel of Steam. Oh no.
Oh boy.
Yep. Okay. Well, if we're gonna do SCR, I'm down with that.
Cool.
Start my raid off now. Okay.
Oh.
So we're gonna use this raid message. Pretty sure you got that?
I do. There's your raid message in my chat.
Sweet.
Sick.
So quick announcements. Tomorrow I will be playing Please Leave Me Alone. I Need to Poop.
Amazing.
So
Certainly an interesting name.
and then Wednesday I should be doing Monster Hunter with SCR, maybe. I don't know. And I don't know what I'm doing on the weekend. I'll figure it out. I got March, like I said, so I don't need to grind for her anymore. But yeah. Oh, and tomorrow night's Toka Tuesday. It is coming back since we didn't do it last week.
Hell yeah.
So join the Discord if you want to join for that. But as always, take care, comb your hair, and rush to use a brush. Don't do drugs. Stay in school. Eat your teeth.
Do not eat your teeth.
Please do not eat your teeth.
We'll see you next time on Cheat. Go say hi to SCR for us, and
let's hope he got a good game.
Yeah.
On the Wheel of
Have
Steam.
fun, y'all.
Yeah. Take care,
Take care,
everybody.
everyone.
Say hi. Bye.
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 But
Oh, he's doing River City Ransom Underground. Or
yeah.
not? I don't know.